Network Security, CCNA Real-World Labs, Remote Support. When I recorded my first series, CCNA Real-World Labs, I decided to include a session dedicated to solutions like that. I showed, I think, Radmin, VNC, TeamViewer, applications like that, and I remember that people were very happy that I did that, because they said, well, yeah, it makes sense, and they don't mention applications like that during our CCNA studies. Of course they don't, because it's not Cisco, and this is a really important topic. I think it is even more important when we get to CCNA security, and I decided I would not be lazy, and I could always include the video that I created for CCNA Real World Labs. I decided to record a new one and take a different approach, show you how you can set up these tools. We'll start from scratch. I decided to show you two really popular applications. Well, three, but I will set up two of them. It's Radmin and Real VNC. Of course, I will mention some other applications and show you how they work. Here you can see, on the screen you can see, I think, the most popular applications that are available for you to buy today. Some of them are free. We'll go through all these things. Now we'll have probably 2 or 3 sessions here, and I want to start with okay, why do we need these applications? Why are we talking about them in a CCNA security course? And the reason for that is that is our router, that's the internet, right? And you are over here. You're a happy guy, right? That is your local area network. And there is, let's say, an access point that you want to manage. Okay? Let's say you're over here and you received a phone call from your client, and he says that, well, I don't know, we forgot our password, right? We know the SSID, but we don't know what the password is. Can you connect and fix it for us, please? Now, to make it happen, of course, you have a VPN connection. You can VPN. Of course, that is a Cisco router or an ASA firewall, right? You use AnyConnect and you are connected to that network. Okay? What do you do next? Well, if this is a Cisco access point, you can just telnet to it, right? SSH to it. That's absolutely fine. What if that's not an access point, but it is a server, right? Or it is a really secure network and you have a jump box, a server that only this server is allowed to telnet and SSH. Well, probably SSH to that access point only. How do you connect to that server? Yeah, how do you access it? With an access point, it's not a problem. You can telnet to it, you can SSH to it, and it's secure because it's VPN. With a server or with a PC, yeah, imagine that there is a PC, okay, the same story for an access point, but a user says, well, I can't connect, right? And you tell him, okay, can you take a cable, connect to this guy, yeah, and I will check it for you. To make it happen, you have to see the screen. You have to have access to his desktop. How can you do that? Well, VPN is not enough, because that will give you access to the network, but not to that laptop itself, right? Of course, the most popular solution, and that's what people use, is of course RDP, remote desktop protocol and remote desktop connection application that you can find in Windows. It's great, it's fast, it's not the most secure application in the world, it's not bad, especially in the local area networks, it's awesome. Almost all Microsoft engineers that I know, they all use RDP to connect to their servers, yeah? Almost all of them use it. It's great, it's fast, but there is one problem with RDP. When you RDP to a PC, to a server, to a laptop, this guy, let me just remove all these things. The problem is that this guy will not be able to see what you're doing. When you RDP, he will see nothing. He will see a message saying that, well, sorry mate, someone else is using your PC at the moment, go away. That's not good because you want, this user, you need him. I know it sounds weird. We don't need users, right? Well, here we do, because he has to show you what the problem is. He says, well, I cannot use my wireless connection. And you connect to it, and you, let's say, use RDP, and you can connect. And you say, okay, what's the problem? And this guy says, well, can I show you? And you say, no, you cannot, because it's RDP, right? You can't see what I'm doing at the moment. And on the side note, another problem with RDP is that it will not work with home versions of Windows. You need a Pro. In a company, in most cases, it's not a problem, because if that is Active Directory domain, you need a Pro version anyway. At home, most people will have a home version of Windows XP, 7, 8, and so on. It means that you cannot RDP to that PC. You can RDP from, but you cannot RDP to that PC. Okay. That's why we have all these tools that you can see on the screen. Let me remove all these things here. That's why we have all these applications. I found a website. I'll show you. There is a list of almost all available applications. And of course you can go and download the trial version and play with it. That's what we're going to do with Radmin and VNC, and we'll try and compare how they work. There are two main solutions available here. The first one is a client-server solution. It means that when we go back to our topology, let's say this is our server we want to connect to, and that's the internet, that's you over here. What you're going to do, you will have, let's say, a Radmin or VNC client here, and here you will have a Radmin or VNC server. It's a client-server solution. And a session will be created between these two sites, right? Client-server. Yeah? Of course, it's not recommended doing it across the internet anyway. You should VPN first. Still, applications like Radmin, VNC, this guy, I skipped these three. There is a reason for that. There is no encryption here. No, there is no encryption here either. They use encryption. They allow you, they give you, in most cases, AES encryption, which is really strong. Still, it's not recommended. You should VPN first and then use an application like that to make it even more secure. Because if these guys use some well-known ports. Of course, you can change the port, but it means you have to open a port, which is not a good thing, and you should avoid doing it. The second solution available, and that's where we come to these applications here. It is a client-server client. It means that, let's use TeamViewer as an example. I really like that application. TeamViewer you have a TeamViewer server somewhere, you don't really know where, let's say that's in the USA, right? You are here and you have a TeamViewer application on your PC, right? Then there is TeamViewer running on the server as well. And the way it works is like that. TeamViewer from your PC will go to the server somewhere in the world. You don't really know where. It is a server somewhere, and this server will connect to that guy. This session will be encrypted as well, of course. Yeah. But there is, well, a man in the middle, right? There is someone who, who will send everything on behalf of you. Yeah, if that makes sense, right? There is a server somewhere. It's not a client-server connection. It's not like Radmin or VNC. It's not like that. It is a server-based application. It means that you will connect to this guy, and this guy will forward that message to your server. That's why a lot of companies are not happy to use that. Well, of course, TeamViewer, WebEx, that's from Cisco, by the way, Remote PC and all these applications, they will, of course, vendors, they will say, well, we'll never touch your traffic, we'll never do anything, and it's encrypted anyway. Still, it's, you're going through a server that you're not in control of, right? And a lot of companies will not allow you to do that, unfortunately. There is a way around. Some vendors will allow you to have a dedicated server on site, and then you can use that. However, there is one advantage of using applications like TeamViewer, WebEx, and so on. The advantage is that you don't have to do anything over here, right? Why? Well, you have to put TeamViewer here and TeamViewer here. That's it. You don't have to change anything on the firewall. You don't have to open any ports. You don't need VPNs, nothing. What's more, it will in a way bypass your security policies and solutions, right? Because most companies will not allow you to use tools like that. And this is like, yeah, whatever, I will use that. So please make sure that you check it is okay to use that in your company. A lot of UTM devices and IPS solutions will have a signature well, I know my CyberRoam has a signature for TeamViewer and VNC, for instance, because you want to block these connections in some situations, right? That's why we have a VPN connection, we have a jump box, we have a dedicated server, and some users, why? Because it is faster, right? TeamViewer is awesome. If you have never used that, I encourage you to try it. It is free for home users. It's awesome, and it's so easy to use. In my VPN training, I showed you how you can even create a site-to-site VPN using TeamViewer in like 5 minutes. It's awesome. Okay, that's where I want to stop for now. That is like an introduction to remote software. In the next video, we'll try and download a trial version of Radmin and VNC. We'll set it up and see how it goes. Thank you very much.